Welcome. In this conversation, we unwrap the tech leadership journey of Andreas Maurer. Andreas is an accomplished serial tech founder, a humble leader, family man, and someone who is making a huge impact on local communities in Germany and beyond. Andreas shares his unique experience and challenges in revolutionizing the local gift card industry. His story is one of innovation, resilience, and vision. We discuss a wide range of topics, but here are some of the highlights that you may find particularly interesting. Andreas' tech and entrepreneurial beginnings and how he started his first company at just the age of 16. The genesis of his current company, KeepLocal GmbH, and how him and his co-founders spotted an opportunity in the market and a way to support the local community. Overcoming technical challenges and how to balance technology with a strong focus on user experience. The psychology of gift giving and his transition from being a business person to now being a business leader. Specifically, we talk about his evolution from a tech-focused mindset to leading diverse teams in his current company. We also discuss sustainability and local impact, which is a huge topic in today's economy. Andreas shares their future expansion plans and the vision for bringing their product and helping communities not just in Germany, but all around the world. How an innovative little tech project with his children may become a product that you may see soon in supermarkets near you. Talking about his growth strategy, investor fit, and the vision on how to expand into new markets while overcoming bureaucratic and legal requirements. Andreas emphasizes the importance of believing in your vision, finding the right co-founders, and always trusting your gut instinct. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope you do as well, and find many useful tidbits that will help you in your current company or in your future entrepreneurial journey. If you're interested in becoming a partner retailer and support your local community, or you're an investor who can add value in expanding KeepLocal's vision worldwide, feel free to reach out to us or Andreas directly, and you can find the information and the links in the show notes. Unwrapped is a Baldur Connect podcast. Baldur Connect is a recruitment agency for various tech companies in Europe and North America. If ever such need arises for yourself in your company, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, please enjoy this episode and feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Without further ado, please enjoy this conversation with Andreas Maurer.
Unwrapped Tech Leadership Journeys, Baldur Connect podcast.
Let's get started. So Andreas, welcome to the show. I'm very excited to speak to you again. Just to give maybe the audience a bit of a background when we met, you didn't seem as relaxed. You seemed quite tense. So obviously we met at Bits and Pretzels in Munich a couple months ago. And it was a lot of meetings for yourself. It was a lot of meetings for me. I think both of us were drained by the end of the day. Our voice was gone. And I thought a good place to start would be some observations from the event. And it's actually one of the reasons I wanted to speak to you today. I'm not sure if you got the same impression, but we spoke to probably over 100 people throughout that weekend. And there are some interesting companies for sure, but there's also a lot of companies from my point of view that put the word AI in the title, and they basically connected ChatGPT, OpenAI API to their software, to whatever they're doing. And they're seeking for investments for 3 million, 5 million, just based on the idea. Without customers, without a proven product, they might have a beta release. Whereas when I spoke to you, it was actually quite interesting because you're not in a typical traditional kind of tech business, even though there's a lot of tech stuff involved. But I guess the difference is it's a real product, it's a real business, and it's filling a very specific niche and a very specific need in the market. And you're doing a lot of other things in terms of promoting the local community, in terms of, helping companies meet some sustainability goals, which I'm sure we'll get into. So I thought it'd be really interesting because your company and yourself kind of stood out in that regard. So do you mind to maybe kick us off by giving a brief introduction about yourself? And then maybe we can get into KeepLocal, into your business.
Okay, thanks. Yes. So I'm Andreas. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have already exited 2 small IT companies. And together with my co-founder Heidi, I founded the company KeepLocal a few years ago. And the idea is, my co-founder made an experience in the local drugstore at the end of 2018, when she was in the line in the store and watched 10 people in front of her. And all of these 10 people bought an Amazon gift card. It was only one day before Christmas. And everybody knows the Amazon gift card is the I have no idea what to give present for the people you love. And so she thought about, why can't you buy any kind of local gift card right here next to those from Amazon? because if you ask the people, they would prefer a local gift card if there is an option to do so that is easy and convenient. And yes, Heidi has, together with her husband, 5 fashion stores in the area where we live, and she, thought we have to change this. And then we met a few weeks later and founded a company with the goal to bring local gift cards everywhere where the people are, where the consumers, the customers are, then to give them the option, easy and conveniently buying gift cards.
And supporting the local community as well.
Exactly.
Local stores, could be activities, could be events and whatnot.
Yes.
Right.
And to have an attractive gift card, we acquire a lot of partners. We started with smaller stores all around the cities and the region. We are based in the Saarland. So we already have more than 1,000 partners in the Saarland from all industries, and are currently onboarding bigger players because they are very important, not only for selling the gift cards, also for the redemption, to have an attractive product that is really bought by the customers.
Let me ask you this. Whenever you went to these different stores, to these different companies, different regions, and you told them, look, you guys are just carrying PlayStation and Amazon gift cards. We have this brand new idea and it's, supporting the local community and doesn't cost you anything. You just put it on the shelf next to the Amazon card. How did they initially receive it? Was it a hard sell for you, or were they excited about that? What was the reaction?
So the smaller stores were super happy with our product because they didn't have any costs, as you already said. And especially when the consumers come and want to redeem their gift card, it's an increase of their revenue. Because if you compare it, for example, with the Amazon gift card, if someone buys an Amazon gift card and gives it to someone, this money is lost for our city, for our region. And if our gift card next to us is bought and it's spent anywhere around, then this money comes to, stays here for our local economy. And you have to know that it's not only the value of the gift card that is spent. In average, it's about 30% more. So because it's easy money, it's not comparable to your earned net salary.
Right.
And therefore, there is a lot of money that comes back to our local economy that was lost the time before. Our partners that understood this were super happy. And if you ask some of our partners in St. Wendel, where we started a few years ago and where we do really make a lot of sales per capita, it's they are super happy with us and to partner with us. But of course, sales was in the beginning quite hard because we hadn't have a lot of trust. We had to build it, and at the stage where we are now, we are also talking to the bigger partners, as I already mentioned. So we started with Globus and currently onboarding DM. So these are really important partners for us to scale over whole Germany in a quite fast way.
And there's also some even bigger players that we don't need to discuss here for confidentiality purposes, but it's like very exciting. It's a store or stores that everybody in Germany would recognize, even people outside of Germany.
Yes.
So I'm really excited for that as well, to see your gift cards all over Germany. And what you actually mentioned earlier, that I guess the logic would be when you get a gift card, you're more likely to splurge and to spend on like a bigger item compared to if you're spending your own money, right?
Exactly.
So if somebody gives you, $50 in your account that you earn from your boss, or 50 euros, you're probably not going to go splurge so much. But then if you get a gift card for 100 euros, 150 euros, you're going to buy pretty much everything up to the limit, or maybe you won't even feel guilty spending an extra 50 to 100 euros, whatever it is, on top of that to get that really top item that you want. So I guess it's a very interesting side effect of that product. Did you initially think that it would turn out that way, that people would actually end up spending more money by using the local gift cards as opposed to...
We made some market research in the beginning, and in average, you can say that 60% of the people spend 60% more than the gift card is worth. So that leads to 130% of the value of the gift card that is spent, in average.
I would be really curious, actually. Maybe you guys do have some kind of dashboard where you track the spending and the flow of how it all goes. That'd be cool to see. But if I close my eyes and I visualize how this would look like, right? If you buy the Amazon gift card, you got all this money flowing to basically their head office in Seattle, I believe it is, right?
Exactly.
So all this money just going here, whereas you have these concentration spots in the area where it's sold, where it's boosting the local economy, supporting local businesses.
That's it. Yes, that's it.
Is it something that is only spendable on things, or is it events as well? Is it venues? What's the range of things that your users can spend the gift cards on?
It's everything that is local in any kind. So it's also gastronomy. It's it's a supermarket, the drugstores, gas stations, but also service providers like massage studios or tattoo studios, and we also have driving schools as partners. So there's everything that is local. Yes, as long as this is a regular business, everyone can participate as partner. And yes.
And I guess the interesting thing is also that on Amazon, you have a limitation on the products you can buy, right? So, some families could be struggling with COVID and the post-COVID economic situation, right? So somebody may not want the new PlayStation. They may not want the new whatever it is, right? They may actually want to spend, like you said, the money at the local drugstore to get medicine for their sick mother, to get, formulas and supplies for their little baby. So I guess it gives you more options as well on how you can use the money.
Exactly. And we have a second product that we put it on our network from partners. That is an employee benefit card that is rechargeable with, and in Germany, it's 50 euros per month that the employer can give his employee without paying any taxes for it on both sides. And for this product, it's super important that we have gas stations and supermarkets, because about 50% goes to these two types of partners, and therefore it's super important.
Right. And what's the stage of the company right now? Could you maybe give the audience a bit of a overview of where you're at right now? And I know you have a big vision, and it's not just in Germany or in a specific state or province. It's, you got a big vision. So can you give us an insight into where you see the company 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road?
Okay, so we started the company 3 years ago. We entered the market and middle of the first lockdown of COVID. And we are currently active mainly in the Saarland and a few more regions. We just started in the Bergisches Land in Wuppertal. And we're also active in Rheinland-Pfalz, in Westpfalz, and Mainz. And we are currently in the progress of scaling it, because when we started, of course, startup and big corporates are not always such a good fit when you just founded the company. And so these big players we already talked about didn't want to partner with us at the beginning. But now we have a proven concept. We, for example, Globus sees what they have a big benefit from partnering with us. And so this is a proof of concept that the other big players also want to partner with us. But they give us the challenge that they say, we can't roll out your product in only a small area like the Saarland and Rheinland-Pfalz. We have to roll it out over whole Germany. Then we want to cooperate with.
Which is music to your ears.
Exactly. So that's the stage where we are currently. We are rolling out over whole Germany with a few big partners from different industries, so that we have an acceptance network over whole Germany. And then we will start next year with selling our gift cards over whole Germany, in whole Germany. And of course, we are also automating all the processes to onboard smaller partners without such a huge effort from our sales team. So when we started, we had quite huge partner acquisition costs, but they are decreasing very fast, and with the goal to...
When you rescale.
Yes, with the goal to limit it to a very small amount of money.
And you mentioned there's quite a few benefits for the partners as well. aside from, like the employer benefit, as you mentioned, 50 euros per month, could you maybe cover some of the other benefits that your partners are getting?
Visibility is a very important benefit they have, because if you receive the gift card, you, of course, look for what you can spend it. Which partners do we have? And for example, if you search for groceries, then you will not only see the big partners like Globus or DM, you will also see the small farm store around where you can buy very fresh vegetables, for example. And we received feedback from customers that said, hey, I have not seen that we have such cool small stores around here in my village. But now I usually go there to shop. So thanks that you made these stores visible to me. And that's a very important fact. Also important is that for these employee benefit solutions, that for the employers, that the employees do not spend more or only spend 50% for gas stations and in the supermarkets, and the other 50% go to smaller partners. If you compare us to other bigger solutions, partners, the biggest players are Edenred and Sodexo. They have mainly these big partners. They don't have smaller ones. And yes, that's another benefit we provide, that you have much more variety of partners. You can choose from so many stores that you don't have with them. And for our partners, the benefit is that these customers come to shop there. So they collect the money on the gift cards on these employee gift cards for several months, and then spend it for something, sometimes for fashion, for clothes that are quite expensive, and that the people wouldn't buy if it's would be the normal salary, but they use their employee gift cards for it.
And it makes perfect sense. If I go and buy a gift card for Amazon, I'm going to go online on my computer, I'm going to order a bunch of stuff. If I buy a gift card at a store and that store is actually accepting that gift card, there's a very high chance, not every person, but quite a few people will actually go back and spend the money at the same store again.
Yes, this is not that important for us, we have learned. So because you have this giver-recipient thing, so the buyer of the gift card is usually not the one that redeems it. Sure, that's a thing. And the recipient just can choose whatever he wants. An interesting fact why giving of local gift cards is not that this normal thing how you would decide if you have totally understand it, because, for example, in St. Wendel we have the Globus as the biggest partner that sells the most gift cards, and 50% of the gift cards he sells is the St. Wendel gift card for the city, and the other 50% are the Saarland gift card, which can be used in St. Wendel, of course, but also in the rest of the Saarland. Why do 50% of the people buy gift cards only from their city? It doesn't make sense, because with the Saarland gift card you have the city and much more. And for this reason, giving is a psychological thing. I want to give my hometown. I want to keep the money in my town.
Right.
And so yes, that's the thing. It's, as you said, it's not always the same store, but the same region where the gift card is bought and redeemed.
And you're actually helping the small businesses, the small farms, get extra distribution as well, right? Because now they're on the radar that, hey, these clients can go spend their money at such and such farm.
Yes.
For example.
Yes. And they find stores and shop there usually, and more, not only for using the gift card, even more. But that's a thing we only heard from our partners, but we can't measure it.
How much do you actually track maybe some of the trends in spending? Is it 100% done by the partners, or do you guys get some insight over some spending patterns and how the cards are being used?
We receive only a few things about it. We know how much is spent in totally, not only the value of the gift card, also what is spent in total. Of course, we know where the gift card is bought and where it is redeemed. But we don't track any kind like the card or what is bought because we don't receive this information from the partners.
So there's also a layer of privacy as well, that the customer can feel safe if they go buy something embarrassing, for example.
Yes, we don't know it because for the thing with the giver in between, of course, the one that buys the gift card is usually not the one that spent it, so it's unable to track. Also, if you buy the gift card in the local store, we don't know who you are. So it's a completely private thing.
Yeah. And in our previous conversation, you touched on one interesting thing, and it's something that especially in Europe has been a big push lately. So you mentioned that in a way it's actually helping companies meet their sustainability goals. Could you talk a little bit more about that? Because there's a lot of focus on the circular economy, sustainability, and all that. So could you share some insight?
Yes, we are currently trying to get exact figures how much impact we have with our gift cards. And if we reach this goal, then we can go to enterprises and give them our employee benefit gift card because it helps them to reach their sustainability goals. So that's in a quite early stage, but we have talked to a relevant partner that tries to calculate how much effort, how
much impact it's having, perhaps.
Exactly. We have talked to a partner that tries to calculate how much impact it has. And so when we start with it, we hope that we will get some customers that have other benefit solutions already.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but that's not our main focus. Our main focus is to have an impact. If it's measured or not, we want to have an impact, and our focus for the employee benefits cards are the smaller companies with lower salaries, because there it's important to stay attractive as an employer. And with our benefit cards in the low wages sector, we help them more with compared to other companies that pay super high salaries.
Mm-hmm. One thing that we see when we help companies recruit for different roles, they always have, especially the really attractive companies to work for, they always have a lot of different perks and add-ons aside from stocks, aside from the salary. Oftentimes they have upskill expenses. You have like 1,000 euros that you can take extra certification or whatever. I could see potentially how you guys could capture some of that market as well, where your service could be used to offer other benefits in the local area, rather than you taking an online course, from some random provider that's in Ireland or the UK or the US. You can potentially attend some kind of seminar in your own city, whether it's upskilling, like certain technical skills or whatever that is.
Can go in the future. Currently, we are focusing on the gift card and the employee benefit market. We will start with a new product for these food vouchers very soon. And with these 3 products, we have a total market size in the DACH region of 79 billion euros. And therefore, it's the market we are currently focusing on is at the moment big enough. So,
right.
Yes, we will stay where we are because, of course, there are a lot of things we can do to also with some discount things, and so discounts for local stores, for shopping, collect some kind of bonus points or anything like that. But currently the focus are the gift cards and the employee benefits. And when we have reached some more levels of the company, then we can start with other products. Focus is key.
Right. And actually, when you were saying that, one thing that came to mind recently, I saw somebody in the tech community basically make an observation that, look, you should probably get your first couple customers before you decide to put dark mode on your website.
Exactly.
Right? So you should focus on the important thing. And it seems like you guys got it together, and you know what your main focus is, and everything else is just kind of an add-on,
exactly.
Something you can spend less time on. which is really interesting. I'd like to ask maybe some kind of more personal questions. So obviously you're a very technical person.
Yes.
Maybe can you tell me a little bit about how that started, where the whole journey for you started with programming, developing, and then maybe we can switch to how you had evolved as a leader, going, from the programming dude to now having to run this company.
Okay, yes, that's a quite interesting journey. I think I started my first company in 1998 at the age of 16. I was in school and I just built computers and sold it to the school and other people. And after I made my Abitur, I go to the how's it called, Zivildienst, social service. We had to do at this time, you could choose between military or social service, and I chose the social service. And then I started developing and so on. Yes. And after this, I went to the university and studied informatics, but I already had my company and it was working quite good. And yes, the company developed over the years. At around 2008, we started in the food delivery business with developing an POS solution for the food delivery stores here in St. Wendel, and built an online shop. And over the years, we built a complete solution for the digitalization of these food delivery stores.
So kind of the early versions of the Deliveroo and Uber Eats and whatnot.
The difference was that we didn't only make a platform for ordering. We also made all these things like the POS, the software, apps for the delivery, for the drivers, for the restaurants, for tables and booking at tables, and especially for the franchise companies, that the recipes are on the devices, on screens, and so on. So it was
it's a complete solution.
Complete solution with every aspects of the store. Also, of course, ordering and waste management and so on. So that was the thing. But this company is sold. And in 2016, we started the Personal Manager, which is an employee shift planning solution. I found it together with my brother. That is a doctor and an IT guy. And together we built this solution. And this company is also exited right now. Yes, so from this perspective, I was also always the IT guy. If you look at the people at my other companies, they are all these tech guys. Diversity was not my focus when hiring these people. And then we started KeepLocal, and together with Heidi, which is a totally other type of person than I are. I'm technical, very structured, and I don't know.
What are some of her qualities maybe that you admire?
She has a much better feeling for people. She has this look on how things have to work super easy, that the partners can handle it. And so she's a totally different person than I am. And we discovered that we are a fantastic team, that we have complementary skills.
That's right.
So that's a really nice thing. And when when we started to hire people, we also checked that we have additional skills, but that the cultural fit is also quite good.
Okay.
So that's a very huge difference to my other team. It's totally diverse. So we have super young, but also super old people with a lot of experience. We have about 50% men and 50% women. Yes, from the the skill set here, it's super different. We have experienced seniors. We also have quite fresh juniors. So the team is totally different. And I'm currently focusing on developing culture handbooks and guidelines, how people that come to the company should behave. And so it's totally different. If I look at my development, the first 20 years of being entrepreneur, I always say I have learned about the same thing I've learned in the last 2 or 3 years. So because the other companies grow over a lot of years and received about in their biggest development about 20 employees. And now at KeepLocal, we already have more than 25 employees within 3 years. So the journey is completely different. And in the past, I loved to work in my basement office, no people around. I was happy if I could code from early in the morning until late in the evening. And that's so different right now. Yes, but I love it.
It sounds like in terms of like IQ, you're more on the technical, the TQ side, technical quotient, and she's more the emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
It seems like you guys are feeding off of each other.
Yes, that's great.
Something that actually caught my eye that you said, that she's got a good feel for the partner side of things to make things easy to use. So from my experience, again, I've personally hired developer teams. I'm not a technical person, I don't program, but I had to deal with managing a team. I would draw things out, on a sketch pad, and I would do a basic wireframe. And I say, look, I needed to do this, this, and this, and function the following way. And I always find there's like this massive gap in communication between what I would want as, let's say, the end consumer and what the tech guys would understand in translation, right? And like personally, the mistake I oftentimes made is I would try to tell them how it has to work, rather than telling them, this is my end goal. What do you think is the best solution? Because if I don't have the technical knowledge, like these guys have so many more options of how to get to the same result, right? But one thing that's kind of the downside that I noticed from highly technical, highly experienced programmers, developers is they make good product. There's not a lot of technical debt, right? But in terms of the user experience itself, it was oftentimes lacking because they think in a very logical way. I make the same mistake as I assume that other people think the same way as I do. Did you find that same for yourself? Because it sounds like she's got that user experience on the people side of things.
Yes. I always say that software developers make software for software developers. So
that's right.
It's not really made for the consumers. So it's very important that you involve someone in the development team or in this project team that has experience in great user experience. So just to make all these things easy. And in the beginning, this was Heidi. Now we have dedicated people for it. But yes, so it's very, very important, especially if you have a deep tech team in the beginning that is coding something that is not in touch with any customers. It's really important to have someone that cares about the user experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you gotta have your head in the clouds, maybe, but you gotta have your feet on the ground as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm curious from your experience. Do you find that being kind of a technical first kind of guy helped you become a better leader in the company? Because oftentimes we see, some guy has an idea and maybe he's a salesperson, maybe he's a marketing person, and then he goes out and tries to find co-founders or hire people who are technical. And oftentimes I find that, they don't have that knowledge, even base knowledge of programming languages, different frameworks. Oftentimes the business is not as successful, or it's hard to succeed, or they need to find that perfect right fit in terms of a partner. For yourself, coming from a technical background, do you find that's helped you as a business owner now?
So I've learned a lot in the last years. So when we founded KeepLocal, we tried to check out the market if there is any need for our product. I think that's really important for most startups. Check if there is a need, if there is a market for your product.
Product market fit.
Yes, exactly. And that's the next step. Optimize your product that it fits to the market. When we started, we only had a wonderful marketing brochure, brochure I think it's called in English, which was an overview of what we want to do. And with this thing of paper, we went to potential partners, and we went also to mayors and other associations from trade, from local partners, trade associations, and we checked out if this product is helpful for them. And so we checked out the market. Is there a need for our product, or is just doesn't it make sense in any kind?
Right.
And then we have learned very fast that it is a really good. There is a big market, and our product should have a good market fit. And after we acquired a lot of customers, we started to develop the product. So it's different. Most startups I know start to develop a product and then try to enter the market. And we checked first if there is a market for our product, and then we started to develop it.
A lot of people in the tech space that I look up to, some of the startup founders in the States, people who became angel investors over time. And that's a big point they always try to nail on the head, that you need to find an actual need that you solve. And it sounds like the way you guys evolved this, it was a personal need. And you're like, if this would be a good solution for me, there's probably other people out there that would find this interesting or helpful in some way.
And then we asked them, and we also have learned from the employee benefit solutions. So when we went to our first really big enterprise we wanted to sell our employee benefit solution to them, and then they said that's totally, yes, it's not good for our employees. We told them, hey, we have a wonderful gift cards. It's for your company that is based in St. Wendel. We have about 100 partners where you can spend the gift card in St. Wendel, but not in the whole Saarland, because we didn't have the Saarland gift card until that time. And they said, it's super uninteresting for our employees. Why? We have such a nice gift card. Because our employees don't live in St. Wendel. Most of our employees live in the whole Saarland, but not in St. Wendel. So you must make a gift card that can be used in the whole Saarland. And this was an eye-opener for us.
The light bulb went on.
Yes, exactly. And then we started to develop this product too. And then a lot of companies also switched to our employee benefit solutions. But we have learned that the city gift card is nice to have for very small companies where, the employees are usually also based in this town. But it's not for the big enterprises with thousands of employees that live in the huge area and then all in the city.
And it's the same pattern where you have a specific need and you're like, okay, now we have a customer willing to pay, ready to take on our product. Let's make it just for them. And there's probably going to be others just like that in the area.
Yes.
One thing I was really curious, and we touched on this a little bit in our past conversations, but, let's say you have an outside observer or an investor or, somebody who wants to come work for you in the future, right? And on the front of it is like, oh, it's a gift card business, what's there about gift cards? But there's actually a lot of technical stuff that goes into having this gift card business, right? It's not like selling books at a bookstore or something. In the past, you talked about some of the APIs and some of the POS software and HR software. Could you maybe share some insight on all the technical depth, knowledge, experience, and kind of some of the challenges that are on that side of things?
Yes. So the important thing is that, of course, all this gift card business is based in the AWS cloud, where we have these APIs for the partner apps, because the gift cards are worth nothing as long as they are not activated. So if the gift card is sold, it must be activated first. which is, of course, is a technical thing. And also it sounds very easy, but most of our smaller partners use our apps, and therefore it's quite easy because it's our app to activate and redeem the gift cards. But the bigger partners, of course, have an integration into their POS software. And then, the fun starts to, of course, we have an API and then can integrate it, but they have defined processes, and the API must fit to their processes, or they have open solutions where you can help them to develop these things. And so that's the thing on the partner side. On the other hand, we have these HR softwares where we want to be integrated within the next months, which, for example, let's take Personio, because we also use Personio as our HR software. When you create a new employee in Personio, then we want that the employee card is automatically generated. It's assigned to this person, and there is a kind of rule set. How is this employee card charged, or if he is on parental leave, it should not be charged, or whatever. All these things should be completely automated in the future. And so we are currently switching from our normal solution to an API first kind of tech stack. And yes, a lot of things. And of course, we are dealing with money. So
security, privacy, all that
is
stuff.
very important, and encryption and so on. So yeah, it's a quite complex thing. Also on the front, it's only looking for gift cards. Yes, it seems to be only gift cards, but it's really complex in the background.
There's a lot of stuff that goes behind.
Yes, and we are currently switching from our departments to product teams, that we have product teams in the future that care about consumers, partners, and employers. And yes, so the team is growing.
Good to hear. And you touched a little bit as well about, obviously, since it's a financial product, safety, security, that's number one. Most of us who are in Germany, we know that the German laws are oftentimes very limiting in the things that you can do or preventative. And I guess when it comes to scaling the company in the future, I'm sure that's a question you get a lot about. How do you scale this with the tax regulation and the German laws and stuff like that? How do you see the company overcoming those challenges in the future?
Yeah, so for the next steps, it's not that important because we have already asked. We have spoken to the BaFin, which is the legal authority for the banks in Germany. And as long as we don't reach an sales volume of several hundred millions, they won't look in detail on us, because we are not regulated. The law currently has it's not in gap, it's an exclusion from
gray area kind of a thing.
No. It's not gray. It's absolutely fine. It's an
okay.
It's an exclusion where we don't have to be regulated. We are no e-money because of the limitation for our gift cards for regions. So if you would make the Germany gift card, we must be regulated. But for the smaller regions, it's fine, and we don't need any regulation. But of course, we have this in mind, that this time will come when we will make billions of sales.
And that would be a good problem to have.
Yes. And therefore, when we will expand to other countries, which will start within the beginning of 2024, then we will, the plan is that we will create the mother company,
compliance team,
the mother company in Luxembourg, because if we need to talk to the banking authority, it's much easier in Luxembourg, because if you ask them anything, you will get the answer within six weeks. And if you ask the BaFin for anything, you will wait at least 6 months. So yes, that's the idea. But of course, we will create local companies in every country which is important that the money stays there. Yes. How can I?
Yeah. I guess also with some of the processes in Germany is, sometimes you get things by post. Sometimes you get the pigeon mail delivery.
Yes.
So some of the things are not up to date, and that's actually one of the things you're doing. You're digitizing a lot of this kind of stuff that, is not. In some big cities, we take it for granted that you can have your money, you can spend it anywhere, you can scan with your phone, you can tap your Apple Watch, you can do a lot of things. But in some of the smaller markets or smaller towns, people don't have those luxuries that maybe we accept in the bigger cities.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to touch on as well, you mentioned in passing last time that something interesting you're working on with your children that kind of could be related to the business is a certain machine for handwriting. Would you mind to share maybe if it's just a personal hobby, or would that be interesting for you to as well to integrate in the gift cards in some way?
No, it's fun, and we will integrate it next week. So
could you maybe tell us first what it is and what it does?
It is a handwriting robot, and I just built it for fun a few weeks ago on a weekend with my children together. It's a simple handwriting robot that can do a really human-looking handwriting with mistakes and not exact lines and different types of characters. So an A does not look as the A next to it. So it really looks as a human has wrote this message. And starting in the next weeks, you can order personalized greeting cards where the gift card is put it into on our web shop for Christmas, for example. And this message is written by this handwriting robot. It was just a bit of fun building this thing together with my children and trying to the software and developing the software for it to make it easy. And yes, now it's going production because 1 or 2 weeks after I built this thing, Sebastian, my CPO, told me, hey, we just talked about how to write the gift cards, and one idea was let's print a message on a sticker and put the sticker in the card, but it doesn't look. But I've seen there is a kind of handwriting robot. Maybe we can talk about it in the future. And then
play around with
I just said, I have built something like this 2 weeks ago. We have not exchanged anything about it. We didn't talk about it. And then this idea came up to him, and hey, I have the product already built, so let's start. This was quite funny.
I would love to see maybe after the show at some point a photo of what your robot looks like.
Yes.
That'd be really cool to see.
Yes. When it's live, I will post something on LinkedIn.
Perfect. And maybe just like a couple more kind of quick questions before we wrap up. What are maybe some of the biggest lessons that you learned, starting, selling, running so many different companies? So for yourself as the operator, as the owner, as a tech person, what are maybe some biggest lessons, takeaways that if you were to give an advice to a younger self or to somebody else who's 18, loves tech, loves programming, they don't know what they want to do, but they're thinking of doing something in that space, what advice would you give them from your experience and some of the lessons and wisdom learned?
Okay, I think the most important thing is to believe in what you are doing. Of course, there must be a product market fit, the market for it, but don't give up. Yes, stay on board, and yes, being an entrepreneur sounds so easy for many people, but it's hard. You will have nights without a lot of sleep, and it's quite hard. But you have to to keep up and to do what you love. And the second thing I think is, if you found a company, try to find a complementary co-founder. This is something I didn't have.
That's an important one.
Didn't have in the past, but it's really important that you have someone to talk about all the things you have in mind and that are problems, because the solution is so much nearer if you have someone to talk about it. And yes, I think these are the most important things.
That's very valuable. And that actually reminds me of two things that came to mind. One was a recent clip I saw of Elon Musk, and he was, giving a speech or whatever, and somebody asked him about advice for starting a business. And he said, look, you should do it, but it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. You're going to have to fire people, you're going to have to hire people, you're going to lose money, you're going to lose customers. He said, if people really knew how hard it is to run a business, a successful business, they wouldn't do it. So don't get discouraged by how hard it is, kind of try to enjoy the journey along the way. And the second quote is actually from somebody I also look up to. His name is Naval Ravikant, again, serial founder and angel investor. He's kind of like a Zen monk of the tech world, right? Super philosophical and very deep. And his quote is basically that if you're doing something you love, it's never going to feel like you work a day in your life, which seems like, similar to what you're echoing.
Exactly. I always say, if you have a work-life balance, you did something wrong, because it should be something like a life balance, because work should be fun and yes, should you make happy. And if this is not the case, it's not the good job for you. It's so work should be an important part of your life, and not I have to go to work again, and it's 5 o'clock. I want to go home
from work.
And so I think that's a really important thing. Of course, you have you should always separate work between your private life, but work should make fun and should fill your life and not only be work. Yes, and one more thing I just thought about, you should always trust your Bauchgefühl, your belly feeling. I don't know if that's right.
Your gut instinct.
Gut instinct, yes, gut feeling. Because I have learned in the past, if you, for example, hire someone and his CV looks great and he should be a perfect fit, but your gut feeling says, no, don't hire him. You should always listen to it, because every time I didn't do it, it was a bad decision.
And the cost of hiring the wrong person is so much more than just a couple months' salary that you lose.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to wrap it up. Couple more things I wanted to mention. Obviously, you guys are in the stage of growth, expanding all over Germany. You're going to be going to the outside countries as well. And based on our conversation, I know you're seeking also investment, and you have some investors already. So if somebody wanted to come on board and say, look, we really love this idea, we want to support it in our country, or we want to invest, we want to be a part of this, how can they reach you? Where can they find you? And what should they ask you?
Yes, the most easiest way, I think, is just search me on LinkedIn and contact me there. If you search for Andreas Maurer, KeepLocal, you will find me immediately. Of course, you can also send...
And we'll have all the links as well in the show notes. And
exactly. So that's the easiest way. But of course, you can also send me an email. Sure.
And once you guys finalize the next round, what is the plan with that? Is it just focusing on growth, expanding operations, or is there something more to that as well?
So the current round is used for growing over Germany and entering Switzerland and Austria, and also to become profitable, which should be really easy reachable.
Sorry to interrupt, it's because just the cost, once you have this established system you already have, the extra cost of acquiring additional partners just drops significantly compared to when you start.
And currently we have to grow the team for all the stuff that scales later on, but now we need these people. And if you look at the sales that we have at partners today, and especially the bigger stores, and when we could expand, or if we start partnering with the already acquired stores in the next year, the revenue will grow that much that we will become profitable at the end of next year. So when we scaled over whole Germany, I've also built a team that is able to scale. So we hired the C-level we hired within the last months is too good for the company to the size of the company as it is today. So they are on board to scale it, and these costs, of course, are must be financed at the moment, but in the future, they will be paid easily from the revenue.
Yeah.
So
and I'm also excited because I know behind the scenes you mentioned some of the big partners you bring on board.
Yes,
so that's going to be very exciting seeing your gift cards in every city, in most of the stores.
Exactly. And then the next step will to go to other countries, non-German speaking countries. There is also huge potential. So we have been in South America a few months ago with a German accelerator to look if there is a market for our product, and also in the Middle East, in Dubai or so on. There's a huge market for local gift cards that is not filled from other players.
And I wanted to wrap it up there, but I'm very curious when you bring something up. One thing I notice in South America, especially, a lot of the countries don't necessarily have the best economic situation. You look at Venezuela, you look at Argentina, the inflation, the peso, whatever, is just, you need more and more money every day. You need bags of money to pretty much buy a loaf of bread, right? Do you think there's some bigger problems that you can solve? So for example, if somebody was to gift a gift card in that country that is not necessarily in their local currency, which is getting devalued day by day, but it is denominated in USD or Euro or whatever else. Did you kind of look into that, or what are your thoughts on that?
So I don't know if there is a solution for that. As far as I know, we have been to Chile and to Argentina. And as far as I know, in Argentina, you can't exchange money so easy.
Right.
So I have no idea if there's a solution like that. But consumption in Argentina is very high because people know that their money will lose 10% of its value every month. They spend it immediately. And therefore, gift cards, they are only valid there for 3 months. So it's another kind of business. I think we will not start in Argentina right now, but for example, Chile would be a great market. They have a quite stable political environment. Their currency is quite stable. So, for example, this would be a country where we could start. We would also have partners there, but at the stage where we are today, we just can't handle it. So, yes.
But definitely the way the direction you're going in, it opens up a lot of opportunities for other products, other solutions based off of the Keep Local concept.
Exactly. And just to mention, the potential we have in the DACH region is big enough to become a unicorn. So I think it's also big enough to become a decacorn. But we want to scale, of course, to other countries too. But we could, lift a huge potential here around. If we look what we can already do in sales here in our hometown or in the Saarland, and if you would multiply it over Germany and Austria and Switzerland, it's millions.
It's a big market.
Sales. Millions.
Yeah. Well, Andreas, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, and I enjoyed this conversation, and look forward to the continuous success of yourself and the whole team at Keep Local.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Thank you so much.
Unwrapped Tech Leadership Journeys, Baldur Connect podcast.